the times here. Did everyone get minutes from the November meeting that were emailed? And if you've had a chance to look at them, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the November minutes or commit any corrections? Okay. And Deanna, do we have a, let's vote. All in favor of approving our minutes? Say aye. Any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. Today we have a special guest, Amina Oliver. She's a high school parent, and she is here to talk about speech and debate at the high school level, which impacts our kids from now. So I'm going to turn the floor over to Amina and fill everybody in.
Hey everyone, I was a parent here at St. Seeks just a couple of weeks ago. My son is a sophomore at the high school. Older son, 24, was a product of the speech and debate program that actually, I think at that time, started when they were middle schoolers. It was a very, very strong consolidated, one of the top state-ranked teams at that time. And for some reason, somehow the program at the high school dwindled to the point that there are no freshmen. My son is a sophomore, and we're going to have about 7 or 8 juniors next year. So the program is about to be over unless we develop a more vibrant feeder program. So most of the strongest schools have a very, very vibrant middle school program. My son started debating as a middle schooler. I was his coach. I was the driver. We went to Houston, was the place that we went, and I just want to let you know that you can do the same. So for those of you, I'm a debater, but speech and debate are hand in hand. So speech has reading events like oratory and poetry pieces, and acting sort of events. There's a whole slew of events, and the kids have put together a little video about events that they from a speaking standpoint, from a speech standpoint. And so there's impromptu speaking, and kids who have good sense of humor, that sort of thing. And then the speech, the debate events, Lincoln Douglas, where John won, the public forum, where there's there are events, and my son does what's called conventional debate and extemporary speaking. This is one semester of his activities, and I just wanted to show you that this is fall semester, and then some of these are in the last weeks that he has learned. So your kids very well. I've been in touch with our speech teacher here, Coach DeLoder, and he's very willing to help kids, but because it requires me out on a Saturday, and he's only commitments to the tournament is practical for me. If anyone is at all interested, I can completely empower you to be able to take your kids, help them out. There's a tournament this weekend by chance at CSHS. Just tell those who have versus marine feelings, they are really a very strong program at CSH. I mean, they've got the 20 students at CSHS, the funding, the backing, the parents or kids are in it, and we just need that same sort of vibrant program feeding in hours. And starting in middle school, I mean, it's a great honor to middle school as well. There is a middle schooler from another district who is actually debates with top senior students at tournaments that are debates. And so I just want you to know kids can do very well. A lot of opportunity for growth. There's some summer camps that have really pivotal in helping him to be successful. But there's something for everyone in speech and debate. So the thing I wanted to have these 2 plaques and these medals down here are from his competition last weekend. His professional association BPA, which is another very strong organization at the high school, very, very strong, consolidated. And these, I put them up here because the reason he got those was his speech and debate background. Those awards that he got in Business Professionals America Association tournament competition came from that. So he's headed to competing with that. He just took place in YL. He's going to nationals in Kentucky. We're headed to Kentucky, and then hopefully summer he'll be going to Utah for nationals for the open debate. So there's a lot of opportunity.
Would you like to get everyone your email address?
Sure.
Your phone number?
My phone number is That's for 977-739-902. And my email is alihan55@yahoo.com. And 739-902. So if you, when you know, parents, please spread the word. Great program, and it starts from middle school. Get a lot of confidence here, so when they walk to the high schooler, they can nail it. Gives them a leg up. Thanks, so.
Awesome. Thank you. Any questions for Amina before she packs up?
Encourage. Where does it start? Parents?
Well, maybe a combination of, if you know the child is interested in farming, or they have interest in the news, or they have interest in public speaking, then this is a good opportunity for them to showcase their talents. It's a year-round sport, year-round event. They can be in athletics, do this. You know, I did basketball last year in this. And this year at this competition, it's difficult to do, to be perfectly, you have to make a choice. So with at the middle school, whatever you choose. Middle school, there are very few tournaments. There's like about 4 in the spring and 4 or 5 in the fall. So there's not many. But in the high school level, there's many from every season. So as a team, I go to 1 or 2 a month. I take my son individually, a couple of parents, several parents that have students that are very interested in being successful, take our students independently. Our students independently, and so if they're at all interested, that's another way to or just encourage them to go. If they like it, or it's also at the middle school. It gets a lot here at night.
Just as, because we had the same problem with Bells a couple years back, we developed a team here. I don't know if the coach would come down to the level and to, if
He is on Friday.
it is like on a consistent basis, the English teachers target certain students, and she thinks maybe interested in something like this. They get in contact with debate people, they mud somehow what it means, what does it mean, and go through that. We have to go through kind of meetings to get established as a real team. Because we use leader pattern was one of the school split. All of a sudden, the participant level of Bells dropped off because there was just not feeder pattern. You had to develop it.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the reason I have to coach, who is this coach, Ms. Ursula, actually, she's our theater here. My son was here as my 24-year-old. So she's been here a very long time. And I had approached her when I was in middle school, interested in leading something, and I think that just wasn't going to fit with.
But that's just a suggestion, is to with the English team to see if they can get kids that might, make something.
And it doesn't require a teacher to have a team. I think that's another thing, the way that you just have to have quite interested parents. That's why I came to this, because people are generally are more vested in kids. That's, it doesn't necessarily have to have this the whole thank you. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to turn over to Marianne, State of the Keys.
Happy 2017. I want to go through a couple things. So today is, let's see, today 50%. So we are 50% through the school year. We're talking about the 100 school. We don't really talk about that. I just found it interesting. I looked up the information at 50%. So we're at midpoint today. So there you go. Yay! I'm excited, right? So here's enrollment numbers right now. 902. And so it was 908 the last time we met in November. You can see there's been minor fluctuation, but it's pretty consistent since the last time we met. Or any given time, we may have 5 or 10 enrolled, unenrolled. been 2 unenrolled today and 1 enrolled today. So I think I still think that we're going to be in that 9 to 9-10 pretty much throughout. I think that the other cases will be within 15 kids. So that's all right. So coming dates, make sure you know the 23rd, the 6th grade registration. So incoming 6th graders, so current 6th, be on the 23rd in the cafeteria. Current going to 8 will be on the 24th in the cafeteria. And with the registration, so February 6th, current 8th going into 9th, welcome to the Google at Consult. And we've had video on the announcement for the kids. And last week, Mr. Mike, I'm very proud for making a video, putting it out there. It's way in his discomfort zone. How about that? Way in his discomfort zone. But he's having fun with it. But I'm going to put this out to make sure all the parents as well. So we'll do the Jones again. Are going to high school. February 2nd, this information was just last night. There's a drug and alcohol presentation to make aware of the things available in the court. Because of the nature of the information covered, it's for us only. I want you to bring it because I don't want you to understand, hey, do this right. You know what I'm saying? But it's being put on. It's put on in conjunction with Tech and AgriLife in partnership with the district to help make people better, because this is always a step in trying to solve the big. And February 2nd, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the boardroom. If you're interested in this information, we will not broadcast it. You will have to. February 17th is the end of the 4th 6 weeks. Sorry, there's the information there. I'm trying to screen the video quality online is very good with the camera. I'm trying to screen some operating screens. There's the information there, and I'll push that out. Like, let's go back here. 17th in 6 weeks, and then 20th we will not have school. That is a staff. Just on the calendar. Okay. So February 6 to 7 in the boardroom, and then parents with school children, underage drinking laws, hosting laws and alcohol, importantly, how to keep the child safe, and you'll learn about if they can find a convenience store. I don't know what those things are. That's what they are. So, A through F ratings. That's all good. I'm going to what I've learned since we last come together. I'm sure some probably just talked about this a little, but I don't want to dive too much to it, but I really want to answer it since it's on that. Okay. So, first off, on this quote, I thought it was interesting. It's from the former education commissioner. It says, it's a system I grew up with. Grades A, C, D, F, and the public will stand too. Keep that in mind. That mindset of policymakers is a simple system. Everyone will understand what it all means whenever they put it out on schools. So it was in 2013, whenever it was starting to come around, it was going to the next phase for schools in Texas. So remember what we talked about in the beginning. Let's start. All right. Form reference test. That's designed to rank and order kids, right, and to rank schools across the state. The question model they use is 40 to 60 times in order to make it. Okay. It is not just it is of averages. It is not designed to really show even in a comp. It's just how consistent you can get answers correct. Okay. When too many students get an answer correct, and the question is thrown out. So, mastery content, we're not rated on how we did mastering the content. We're rated on how above average we were at school within the different ethnic groups. We are rated, whether it's low SES, whether it's American, white, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. Okay. And as we talked previously, starting poverty, there's a high correlation with OSCS students struggling with standardized testing. And schools with high percentages of poverty are more likely to with the STAR test. and that's very easily seen. So the ratings we receive as a campus and then we receive as a district. And so the 4 areas that are rated and the what if, and these are all if, these are not any kind of labels that are going to account for right now because it's a trial run. The DEA has been adamant in making sure to communicate that they were required to do this by all. The last legislative session, they released 4 ratings by the start of this legislative session. So student performance is the first category. So that's the first and B for both and for us. Progress, A district, B is AMCMS. We go through the ones here in just a moment. Closing performance gaps. D is a district, and F as a campus, and then post-secondary readiness, both B and a C. So we're going to talk about what comprises both of those. The first domain is all tests and all students. Okay, and so the student score at advanced level we count 3 times in this category. And so you can only see, because the way that it's rated, you have students that don't meet the expectations, that meet the expectations, and then students that meet the expectations. So in the calculations with the advanced, it's multiplied out. Schools that have higher percentage of kids that reach those advanced levels get more points. Makes sense. And A's and B's and B's. That's what they want you to think. So pointing for each percentage of test results are calculated out. This is the most straightforward of all the domains. So progress. So this is supposed to be year-over-year improvement. Again, it seems it would be straightforward, but you take into the consideration that the pass standards are not set until after the test of advanced score. The passing standards, they fluctuate, so it's not consistent year to year. Questions thrown out too high. Science tested over a 3/4 of material. Social studies isn't tested until 8th grade, and so there's a lot of content there. This is their first time tested on it. And all tests are comprehension tests as well as content-specific tests. You go and take the test. If you look at math relief star, it's not math problems. They're reading problems where they pull the math out problems and then the working. That's a complicated skill for a lot of children, regardless of your math levels. It would be difficult for me. Other than the performance test, not a measure in student group the way you would think. So for an example, the state always looks at how do your students compare to all your other students. That's pretty much the standard practice. Is not bad. And it's even about students who did well versus the students that didn't do well. What this is about is they only measure the economically disadvantaged students. And we have to make a prediction off of what this form predicts they do and then what they actually do. You subtract it, that's how it comes up with the score. And so this model is called a progression model. Means that this line that's right, this average line established where they see what's close to the middle. Again, close to the average. And then determine from there what grade levels are. And the arguments of this one is, so this is percentage of students on free and lunch, and your not economically disadvantaged students. And so the more economically disadvantaged students you have, performing they need to be. If you have less, then perform higher. Although absolute performance is low. Okay, the difference between the two. If you have less low SES kids, you have to perform higher level than a campus that has more low SES kids. So elementaries in the district, people were very to see an F in their rating in this category. And it's because of a small subset of low SES that at the same of all the SES kids, all the other elementaries, because they have less, they're supposed to do more with those kids. That's what this says. This initial piece. So this is information, the text about it. I wanted you to see here's the formula. So it's a slope intercept. So we had to put information in it. I got to do that. And then my that I set after Ely and Perry Earth could never equal the state segment. And so after Ely just said they rounded up and rounded it down because there's decimal place have to be into a year. We were never able to enforce the number. So again, a lot of transparency, right? Kind of the point. So you can read these, but basically, since we're a full campus, this is the formula that we use. So we put in projected number, we multiply out. This is a number. So those that haven't done this math in a while, then it's important. That's on the number, and then in here, and then it's out your score. Because you subtract it, you get this formula. You get a score with it. So percent of students who are economically disadvantaged on campus. So for AMCMS, that's 46% of our kids. So I get 0.6, because that's our number, right? And specific type of, so I plug it in the formula. I'm multiplying negative 0.182 squared times 0.16, and then I can adhere to 7 blah. Okay, and so then I take that, so I calculate and I predicted whenever I get on, and then I take what I actually scored, and I subtract from main to the out, and the difference is where we fall in this chart, and the chart says we fell in half. So we were rated in. This formula, where all this from? On him. I know, to be honest, to the family in December, I think whenever we take class as a group, schools are never understand why they're rated A and D and F. They're never going to be able to understand why they're rated an F, but they're going to have to justify it. But we had no control over that. So, the post-secondary readiness, this guy is a category everyone really struck at, especially of our high school is D in post-secondary readiness. And there's across the state that very well known prepared their kids college rated in. Okay. For middle school, the only two we're rated on absentees and dropout rate. Okay, so we don't have dropouts. We don't have any of that. Chronic absence rate, if a child is not in attendance 83% of the school year, they're considered chronic absent. A child that has a mobility rate, which means they move. So there's a formula to determine high mobility. We have low mobility. Better than some campuses, but it's as high, a lot of high campuses like one campus that we can see in Bronx D, much higher mobility rate than we. Issue that last year we had 60 students that counted against in this category. I started the 63. There were students that were missing because they were returning to the country with them. They're students, so they're gone for a period of time. Students, if they go on trips. And, you know, we had that conversation as a district. We're not saying that you can't take a child on a trip. You as a parent, you know that they're missing school and you're going to make it up. And so our stand with this is needs to be more accountable, especially school for secondary readiness. We have above career technologies these kids why count into this category. Better be in that. And that area that's not reported, and because they don't know how to report this yet, is the community engagement. So it wasn't, we don't know until maybe by 2018. None of the articles, none of the press from TEA are about what this is. You know yet. Be a very small percentage of the whole piece. A star is 55% of the whole piece, as they say things. I think they're just as that both of our high school are in a D in post-secondary readiness. So keep that in mind. You see the differences, and then I'd ask you to talk with kids. Just ask them. Have a conversation. In the newsletter today, the blog in there, what a parent did. Give an instruction director in the complex area. And he went home and just said, told us, hey, your school is that. What do you do? The kid was like, that's my school. In here. It's fourth grade. So I need to have those conversations. So, questions. What questions do you have?
You make a lot of questions. In fact, this to be pushed on us. We've got information about it. It's going to work. Here the grades are. Have you gotten negative comments from parents? Or I don't know that any, not anybody, but I a lot of people are.
Right.
So kind of all the people who are involved knew that it was coming. All knew that it was not accurate what happened to it. So I was just very.
No, I have to like that.
I think for the a lot of other dispatch is totally shambles. They don't understand. I think we should privileged educated.
And there's districts that they very open said they're going to do everything they can to get A's. And us as a district and our board not buying into the philosophy of A through F is built upon. And it's just a matter of us not against ability. Here's the article right here. I read it, I'll be able to read it. I mean, this is what just the old paragraph already read. It's just we lots of stuff and well, they're done. Never been here in high school. That's from a child. You look, I mean, we're an accountability district, we're about it. And we talk the community accountability, if there's folks around that will discredit, they say, well, that's you're making up your system. Of course you're going to be that no one's going to listen, they can't leave. And so the response to that is every district should be accountable to have community-based accountability, and the state should have specifics for what it should look like. And so as a district, there's Dr. and other members working with tech, which is the administrative solution. Put together, we would propose that other districts would account alternative presented to Commissioner Moran. We're trying to be proactive what this should look like in the district.
So what kind of communication do schools have with this VA? How they classify stuff? I mean, I feel like they like very readiness. I think A&M's can differ than students are. So how does they even reconcile things that don't make sense? Like, I don't understand it. Justification. Or in the situation, what does the school have to take with them that may change? Like, what's the solution?
The answer to that at this point is just contacts with PTA that we've got feedback. There's been invitation for an open conversation at this point. They've been released TEA now. It's just this is all just an example. This is going to change. Nothing permanent. This doesn't affect anything right now. There's a political side of things, and that's the argument that's coming out. That's been said. It is the timing of that accident. Starting session. Patrick is very open again. Public. He wants church. He wants privatization. He wants money where people want their money to go. Against that is the accountability there. Truly not against if the accountability is the same. And he said in a meeting this week that parents have the right to not kids to an F school, D school, or E school. PEA says it's average. But yet we don't bring on. But C is average. C is there's going to be so many D's and only D's and that. No matter how much it is a belt. You get to look at all the results and you can see number of schools received A's to the 4 domains, and only one exception, post-secondary readiness, is a higher level B's than C's. The majority of them, the highest level C's. And so right on over. There's a lot of politics with this. So I've answered the question about TEA. we have, the district level contacts that we share with them. I think that that's why the district is more active in the state administration associations, to be able to help get this out there more loudly and frequently.
This VA answers to legislator or to, who do they answer to?
Well, they answer to the legislation, but they also answer to the taxpayers, because they're political. There's a lot of those positions politically appointed. Sometimes, and a lot of those positions, educators that have applied and been hired, it kind of depends on the departments that you're looking at as to who makes them up. But the level, Mike Marath is an appointed position, the commissioner is an appointed position. But they have the ability to hire, and often they do hire educators. You could with the educators and determine what their philosophies are in education, because within any profession, there's always going to be different views of looking at things as well. So, any other questions, A through F? It's a lot, and as we go through stuff, we'll share stuff and put things out and help people process and discuss. And if anytime you have questions and you want to come and talk and understand more, let me know. We've been more than happy to sit to help break it down, because I've learned a lot about it by working the math myself and trying to understand it myself. So, all right. So then the questions. We can have a conversation about this. Purpose of school. This is great. I couldn't have timed this any better with the release of A through F. I knew back in October this is where we were going to end up, right? So purpose of school. What's the purpose of school?
Prepare for life.
Be prepared for life, right? There's a lot of truth to that. Be prepared for life. What else?
To educate the whole kid. It's not just academics. The whole child.
I agree. What else? Other thoughts?
Encourage learning.
Encourage lifelong learning. Yes, learning doesn't stop at school. It begins long before we ever get them. We say all the time, parents, you're the first teachers. We pick up the formal teachers, and we'll be the last teacher. Often, they'll be their own teacher. That's just the way it is. So what do you want to take away from CSIST whenever they finally get that cap and gown in 4 or 5 years from now, or 5 or 6 years from now? A diploma and the ability to get a job? Yeah. Good experiences, they learn, have skills, time is well spent. Prepared for college.
Yes.
Education.
Yep.
I don't want them to look back behind and feel like they were stressed and pressure.
And that's something that occurred dramatically over the last 20 years in school. I mean, I remember being a student in West Texas. I grew up in Monaghan. I remember them marching from the high school to our gym. And the gym that we had was very luxurious because this, in the 80s, for Robinson was made known that it was going to happen, and our town had a lot of oil, so our superintendent at the time said, you know what, we're going to build the nicest facility we could build before we send our money away. And so they built this huge sports complex, gym, theater, and seats, and so they brought us over there to take, I guess it was the house test at the time. And they told us, if you don't pass it, you don't graduate. And we're like, what? We're juniors. And we're like, okay. So we take it, and then I remember all of us going, pass it, can we go home? Because if we passed it, then we could graduate, so why do we need to go to school? But the pressure is just mounted year after year after year with EOC, it's just gotten great. And whenever first, if remember when they first introduced DOC, it was like 16 course exams to be passed before they graduate. And then, of course, everyone got upset, so they down the back, and I think 6 that have to be passed. 5%, I don't remember for sure. But it's a lot of pressure on a kid that's a good test taker. Right?
There are going to be things in life that are going to be stressors, and it teaches them how, even if they're not a test taker, to deal with it. And it's more of a controlled environment. Hopefully, you have parents at home that are helping you through it. And I don't want to make it too easy because then they're going to all people out.
Sure.
So,
Very true. Anything else? What do you remember most? What helped you most?
You remember the teacher, whether they're good or bad, not necessarily what made them good or bad.
Uh-huh.
I remember specifically the teachers, and I will have to say the coaches, and that was in their book, you know, my advisor. Truly good quality coaches that taught, again, those life skills we were talking about. You might lose a basketball game, we all want to win, don't get me wrong. The sun's going to shine tomorrow. That was our coach's famous quote. That was stuff that we lost, the sun's going to come up tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, like it was that balance. Yes, go out there, competitive, work hard, the life will go on. It's just
junior high, middle school experience is very typical outside. Like academics is not my best area. It was for athletics, particular cheerleading, so people that were involved in those things were the people involved in my life. Everything looked good on that. I was from an abusive home, so you wouldn't see that. And there's a lot of kids in these schools that don't know what it looks like. And so it was those coaches and team leaders and teachers that got involved outside of class mattered. That encouraged and motivated you to keep going, and that yes, you could, overcome that stuff. So I'm all about getting the grades, more about loving these kids past the books, because what they bring here from home affects everything, their whole day. So probably the safest place to come to.
That's true for
It's a big deal.
a good number of kids. Anything else? Anyone thought of related to those 3 questions?
I remember friends before senior high in their class holding them special ways.
Yeah.
Like, how did
I know. That's probably one of the things I missed the most about not being over there at Oakwood, is over there, they wrote a lot more notes to each other. More old school. I forget one day I had a 5th grader, he thought his girl was over because he had second thoughts. He put a note in the girl's locker that said, he wanted to talk to her, and get it in there, and he couldn't get it back. He was having a breakdown. Those are the problems I missed. So, I shared this out in the last forum. We had the big document. As you're thinking through school, as you're thinking through things, remember what is the most important piece of whatever's going on in the struggle, because often we think about these things in the midst of a struggle. And to help kids remember as well. So, yes, grades are very important, and success is extremely important. For me, what we focus on, the importance is teaching that you can't give up, you keep working. It may not work out that first time, but you got to keep after it. Because that's, I don't know the boss yet. Oh, you didn't do that? Oh, well, just go ahead and do it. No, until you get it right? And do it now. That's the world. So, anyways.
The real world is you realize you have a lot of activities, and then when you get in trouble, a lot of them get taken away. And so when I was a senior, the one to stop singing Good Day. So everybody went, but that meant everybody got licks, everybody got attention. The more involved you were in school, you missed 2 weeks of basketball, you missed good council, you missed this, you missed that. So you realize, wait a minute, I do all these things, and I got just like this activity where someone who just showed up just got attention and lived. So you got a pretty good life lesson there. The more you have, the more you got to lose.
That's right.
Anything else for Samantha?
Yep.
Okay, Allison, you're up.
So we have 2 months because we didn't meet in December. And for November, you see the majority of our income deposit from game day. Then most of the disbursement went back for the fall dance. And then December, Tracy and I were just looking at the numbers, but basically, if you look at the backs, the cat, help cats, we ended up collecting $1,760.81, and we spent $1,718.63. So we actually didn't even have to go into allotted $250 or whatever. We actually donated $50 to I think that's what it was, 300 if you look to Blessings and Bags, which is the food drive effort. And so anyway, so that right now our income balance is $30,986.72. That means we haven't dispersed, and so Mr. Mann, Karen, and me have this a couple that Linnell gave me for the game day party. We have not distributed any of that money, which I believe is going to be about $37.50. So we'll get that done.
Questions? And then what our plan is Allison and I are going to look at what projected expenses we have for the remainder of the year, what balance we want to start with next year, and then we'll give Mr. Mann an idea of what we can vote on next month and between now and the end of the year spend what we.
This, I can't remember if we started on it, but end of the year, field activities, 8th grade, we're going to take to the record. 7th grade, we'll have these and swim day. That's the plan for those days. And it's at a much cheaper cost to do that than it is to go to
Then our budget.
Any questions for Allison? Okay, let's move on and go through committee reports quickly. If you've got something, Tasha, anything on book club?
We'll have this from book, I don't know what it's going to be.
Okay. Wendy?
The box top, we are having a big push at the end of this month, 30th through 24th, 7th versus 8th grade. My question about that is what incentive the school would be able to offer the winner?
We do classroom pizza parties, cupcake parties, done those in the past. And we had a pizza party for a competition in December. Trying to remember those. But yeah, so we can do this party competition for winning 7th grade and 8th grade. Yeah, like not like the whole thing. No, like the highest. But we can by grade level. That's fine because it's 8th versus 7th, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're winning 8th grade, 4th period, and winning 7th grade and 4th period.
That's their prize.
And their pride class do pizza, cheese and pepperoni roll. These kids can eat for them. So. And it's cheap.
That's fine. Box tops.
Okay. We've got a spirit coming up at Zaxby's. We have totals when we did collectively, anything fleeing and,
Well, I know that.
okay.
Anything below $221.80. And then, then carpet one, because we could get something soon for Talbot's, she ended up just donating $200 for cat's house. So Claudia, thank you, carpet one.
Yes, and we're gonna do what's in the spring, and Glenn wants to do something in the spring as well, so just look for those dates.
Zaxby's is January 30th, February, we've got.
So, you see, you have to turn your receipt. Is that a portion of the whole night, or do I make sure my receipt gets?
5 p.m., 10% no receipt collection.
You would take for the.
I do find it last time. We had to change the date due to some conflicts. I think we had to set first. Let me double check. Ames is open to all 3 locations. It is a receipt collection, so you have to let them know that you're with AMCMS, but you can go to any of the 3 locations all day. Let's see what's on there. Here, what date we have to February 27th.
So we'll get before then. Okay, Tracy, anything?
I guess Allison kind of touched.
Sorry, shoulder, but
Yeah, so cats, we helped 30 families this year. We ended up not using any of our PTO budget, and we had had 2,000 because of the events this year. So we basically broke even, and how we did that is we helped. We did a Genius this year, which was very successful, and then we had a wreath office where students can pull tags. I think about 75% of the tag items were signed up for. So you look at what we spent, that was what wasn't actually pulled, which we went kind of down and purchased it. And we provided a $35 gift to each of those things. So about $1,000 what was spent actually was gift cards. So we had our 2 hat days, which were successful, and our profit share, which is about half the money raised. The rest of it was from Acculate, Bit One, and donations. So I think that's a great. I think this year we kind of reset, and I think we can be even more successful next year. So we get some good notes. In addition, we didn't really have the lessons in the bags that was really on our radar. So 20 families were helped with that, and when we got the list, we actually had exactly the same items. So what we did this year, maybe we can do that next year, is we helped 30 families and Mr. Miles having kind of another list. 25 families that were kind of after those 31 families got the lessons in the back. So truly over 50 families helped. So on average, we spent $55 per family. So that's great. And in the process of talking to Mr. Miles, we had a pretty cold day in December, and he was talking about how many students didn't have coats. So I put something on Facebook, and thank you, because I know several know that, but he just got overwhelmed because a bunch of people dropped off coats and they just showed them immediately. So that's something I want to incorporate on maybe next year. Here as maybe we can kind of our mini coat drive, because a lot of people still have a hard time with his closet. And so this year also we put it in we did it last year too, a big Max kind of big reusable bag, and we put his closet in there, encouraging them to take the bag to his closet, because you take when you get a great item, just to kind of promote that a little bit more to families. Anyway, Mr. Miles said everybody was very appreciative. So thank you all. I think everybody chipped in a lot.
You're happy.
It's very encouraged. We're both sleeping, so anybody else is really.
Thank you.
We will do a letter for February through break. So items you have now,
anything on the spring dance?
Date is the 7th of April, and it is at Stowe Salt. Yeah, it's all. Yes.
More to come next week.
Yes.
Mary and Laura, anything on food drive, or are we a little early?
Actually, we met today, just to kind of get that going, because we feel like we've kind of met a little bit more through Mr. than last year. Because last year was looking for growth. But, just talking about themes and things like that, and, Mr. Amanda, if y'all have any ideas of donations, or people that can give donations, or, we call, and the kids love having things, when it is for spoons and Chick-fil-A, anything like that. If y'all have any connections there, or know where you can donations, because we're going to start getting people for that.
Thank you. Okay, Rosie said nothing to report on game day. Allison, do we have a total?
Yes.
What we did for the year?
$50,309.75. $15,399.70. And Mr. You want to get competitive, because apparently Josh is super.
No.
They get over 18.
They're close.
That's what they, whoever the guy is, I don't know who that, Rory somebody, he's like, he has to be just as competitive, I don't know, he's like.
Okay, Jen, anything
And
on?
you can't post your food drive totals this year. Yeah.
Well, we stuff.
We had around between 140 and 150 at the skate. So we had a lot. It was good. Okay.
Yeah, so there's,
Sorry.
we had a basketball tournament a couple weeks before that, and the kids from the other school were like, "Oh, I got a skate day!" Just all the posters there.
Thank you for taking that on. Chris, anything for teacher appreciation?
Not really. December luncheon is great. My teachers were great. It looks like the snacks for tomorrow's day.
Then we have Super Bowl on the 6th, right? February? Super. Okay, so watch for a sign on that one. Teacher friends, Nikki, tell us what's been going on.
All right, so we met for Christmas. Mr. Alexander, US History for 8th grade, wanted 2 copies of books. So that was $100, so we did that. Miss Daniel, 8th grade, ELA. She actually wanted beanbag chairs. That's only $100 for one. Six, so she's super excited. She got 6 beanbag chairs, and that was $200. 8th grade teachers wanted neon markers for their black tables, and we got them each class sets. Then the student grants, the students are cute and how much thought into these. Malaria in Uganda. What they're wanting to do is raise money, mosquito netting. They were asking us for money for prizes for beads or stuff like that. But the good thing about student, they do everything, they make their signs, they do the videos. So that was that. And then the other one that kind of chuckled at was he wanted to reduce paper towel waste. So we could buy $700 deep dryers for the children. We didn't really have that. $7,000. So we're $100. Make stickers we design that say please only use 2 paper towels. And kind of makes people aware. Maybe their stickers they only use 2, maybe they won't. So anyway, we only spent a little $800. We leave almost $1,700 this year. So everybody was very happy.
Now, I've only Daniel.
Okay, I know Alexander told Linnell ordered books for him, so he's going to put in the. And then I told the teachers about pay my cell number and all that. Let me know.
Check with them now, but that's the only reimbursed is Miss Davis.
Yeah, yes, okay. That's what it has told me that they turned it in.
She's the one that's turned in game parking reimbursement.
She's on.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Finally got that together. I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome, thank you. Laura, anything for Vips?
No.
Nothing else you need?
I think maybe just needs to come off, but it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's unnecessary. I just need that. You know, I'm not, but I mean, who does it? You just grab a pen, then you put it to your.
Exactly.
Another kid comes one day and you just sit there for hours. It's okay.
Great. Anybody have anything else before we move on and learn? We've got Spirit coming up on the 30th. Our next meeting, please correct that.
I was just gonna ask.
My spell check didn't get the, I put the wrong date. It's the 14th and not the 4th. It's Valentine's Day. Come celebrate Valentine's Day. Other thing that we would like to discuss is the secretary position. Dawn graciously took the notes today. If anybody has any interest in doing that for the remainder of the year, that would be great. Otherwise, ask for a volunteer every meeting between now and May. Or if there's someone that you know who is going to be an incoming 7th, they could take a position for 7th and 8th grades. If you have any ideas, send them my way. Thank you for your time. We are officially